Thank you for joining me today on Christine's Awesome Things. My name is Christine, and today we're going to be making something a little different. This is called a citrus meringue pie, not a lemon meringue pie. Citrus meringue pie. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button and hit that little bell so you can get notifications whenever I upload a new video. One of the things that I want to mention to you is that you can go and get this recipe on how to make a baka pie crust. And when you make anything that involves meringue, you always want to do what's called a blind bake. I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. Preheat your oven to 325 degrees before you do anything. Next, you're going to poke holes all over your pie crust, all on the bottom and on the sides. The technical term for this is called doking. It prevents your pie crust from forming bubbles in it. So you want to make sure you do that. Now that our holes are poked into our pie crust and everything, we're going to start our blind bake. Blind bake, you want to preheat your oven to 325 degrees, and you're going to partially bake your pie crust, because with meringues it doesn't take that long for a pie to bake. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put this in the oven that's been preheated for 10 minutes at 325 degrees. This is going to bake in here for about 8 to 10 minutes. And actually I'm going to set my timer for 9 minutes. Alright, while we're doing that, we're going to go over here and get our filling together. First thing you're going to need is 4 eggs, and you're going to separate the yolk and the white. These are egg yolks. This is egg whites. For those of you who don't know how to the difference, you crack your egg in half and you transfer them back and forth, and when you do, the white clear part will drip into one bowl and the yolk will stay inside the shell, and you just dump them into the bowl. This is 4 egg yolks that is going in here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to whisk these 4 eggs. Now that our egg yolks are whisked, we're going to take a 14-ounce can of condensed sweetened milk and slowly add it to the egg yolk while it's mixing. Making sure we get all the good stuff out of there. Next, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of frozen concentrated orange juice. Make sure it's thawed. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of fresh lemon juice. You can use the frozen concentrate lemon juice. Just make sure you thaw it. next we're going to add a teaspoon of lemon zest and orange zest. For those of you who don't know what zest is, it is the peeling from your fruit. For lemon zest, you would grate the lemon peel, the outside of the lemon. Same thing with the orange. You would use a grater and you would grate only the peel until you get the amount you need. Again, 1 teaspoon of lemon, 1 teaspoon of orange zest. And next, I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of cornstarch and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Now that we have that all mixed up, next all we have to do is wait for our pie crust to be done blind baking. And soon as you take your pie crust out, you only want it to cool for a few minutes, and then you're going to pour your mixture into your pie crust because you don't want your pie crust completely cooled. All right? As I mentioned, with blind baking, you want to bake it for about 8 minutes and let it cool off. When you let it cool off, as soon as you take your pie out of the oven from blind baking, for this recipe, you want to bump your oven back up to 350 degrees. It'll take a few minutes for the pie crust to cool down, 10 minutes. Which is the amount of time that it'll take to preheat the oven. Actually, it wouldn't even take that long because it was already heated to 325, so it'll take about 5 minutes for it to heat back up to 350, which is more than enough time for your pie to cool off, actually a little bit longer. It actually took me a few minutes to restart this video, and my pie crust was still warm. I actually waited about 8 minutes before I started the video again because I had to answer my phone, and my pie crust was still warm. Another thing you want to do is when you start baking your pie after you put your filling in, you want to put it on the bottom rack, the lowest rack, for this recipe. Once you have taken your pie crust out of the oven and let it cool for a few minutes, it should just be kind of doughy but not crusty. You're going to pour your filling into your warmed, blind baked pie crust. Then you're going to bake this in a preheated oven at 350 degrees and let it cook for about 20 minutes. Alright, so after our pie has baked for 20 minutes, you want to make sure that you get your meringue done before it cools off, because you want to spread your meringue while this is still hot. So my 4 egg whites are going to go in here along with 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, and we're going to beat this until soft peaks form. Now, if you take a look at this, you see its creamy peaks have formed. See that? It's not sliding off. So I'm going to turn this back on to medium, and then I'm going to start adding 1/4 cup of sugar. And I'm going to bump this up to high. Now, our meringue is ready. And we're going to take this and spread it onto our hot mixture. You want to make sure that when you spread your meringue, you take it all the way to the edge to seal in the filling so that it doesn't leach out of the pie. Spread all the way to the edge, all over. Then you're going to put it back into your 350-degree oven, and you're going to bake this until the meringue is a lovely golden brown, and it's going to puff up and everything and just be beautiful. Make sure we get it all the way to the edge. I like to use a rubber spatula so I can scrape everything out of there. I'm making sure that I seal every part of this meringue around the crust to seal that. I don't want to see no part of the meringue. The filling, I'm sorry. Not a peek of it. All of it should be covered. And then just spread it so that it's even. And this is about to go into a 350-degree oven, and I'm going to let it cook until it's a golden brown, and I'll be back and show you what it looks like. Now that our pie is out of the oven, it baked for about 10 minutes, and this is how it would look. You can do a little browner if you want to. I don't like mine to be that brown because I have peaks up here that I decorated. You're going to let this cool for about an hour. And after it's cooled for about an hour, you're going to refrigerate it for at least 3 hours before you cut into it. All right, so this is our citrus meringue pie, not to be confused with lemon meringue pie. This is a different type of pie, so give the recipe a try. I'm sure you will love it. Not many people do a citrus meringue pie. Again, this has been Christine of Christine's Awesome Things, and I am Christine. Make sure you like and subscribe. I welcome all comments, and give me some ideas on recipes to do. Believe me, you give me an idea, I'll do it.